Hello, my name is Keelan Anderson, and today I'm going to be giving a speech on disciplining children in public. Be honest. Are you the same mom at home as you are in a grocery store or a museum? How about when your kid is having a meltdown in a candy aisle, or maybe around at $100 million picture? In most cases, you're not. There may be ramifications to traditional disciplining of your children in public, including legal prosecution. It's not like it used to be when you could just spank your kid when they were acting up. Sometimes it leads to jail time. I was a nanny for 5 years, and I faced a lot of situations where the children I would be watching would have a public meltdown. Now, I had to think very carefully about my next step, not only as an authority figure for the child, but as a public spectacle. It is important to know your rights as a parent, but to also know the line when it comes to maintaining a respectable boundary with the children. You want to be the authority and you want to show that the kids cannot just do whatever they want. But at the same time, eyes are always on you. Socially, publicly, you have to be careful about your actions. There are social and legal repercussions if you discipline a child in public in an unfavorable way. Sometimes you think is something that's okay, but others don't see it that way. You might be facing legal consequences for that. So, what do you do when your child is acting up and making a scene in the public and they need to be disciplined in that moment? Well, a lot of parents try unique and different ways. Some parents even try putting signs on their kids that say, "Hi, I was bad. I stole." And they got penalized for that. They were misusing their authority with their children. So even when parents try to be creative, sometimes they still get penalized. So it's really hard to know, what am I supposed to do when I need to discipline my child here and now, and there's a whole audience of people watching me? There have been cases of parents taken to court, legally punished for actions against their children in public. An example is Mother Marie Lisa Mars. She was arrested for spanking her son in a local supermarket. Onlooking patrons called the police when they witnessed the actions. Now, I know when I grew up, I got spankings. That's just what happened when I was bad. In public, at home, it didn't matter. That's how we were raised. But this mother spanked her child in public, and some parents did not agree. She had charges put against her. She went to court. She had to fight for her own child. And I understand that there is a right and a wrong. But you also need to understand what is considered legally right and wrong. These laws are in place to protect our children, but there is often confusion of how one should act when their child is misbehaving. When they act harsh, they could go to jail, but when they do nothing, they're judged as bad parents with no strength or parental skills. It can be hard for some to know where the line is. What would you do if your child threw the milk in the grocery store everywhere? Many parents try to come up with different ways to discipline their children in public that is acceptable. But even then, a line can be crossed with some. Whether you spank or use timeouts, the way a parent or guardian chooses to discipline their child is ultimately up to them, as long as they are not considered abusive. But when you're in public with everyone watching, The pressure can exceed some people's limitations, and consequences can be serious. Often it's hard to know how to raise your child to be respectful and obedient. You may find a course that works for you, but if you take it too far, in a public standpoint, there may be more punishment than expected. Knowing what is and isn't appropriate when trying to teach your child what is right and wrong is important. But you have to know what is right and wrong yourself. What is right and wrong in the court's eyes, in the legal system, for what you would consider normal disciplining standards. There is a limit on how one can behave in public with children, and when that line is crossed according to society and the law, we'll take action and precedent over parental opinions. Keep yourself informed.